And we're live. It's EJ,
And Ian?
and we're doing Coding with Fire. This is our interpretation of like a cooking show, except our ingredients are data and JavaScript, and we make delicious data visualizations instead of food. Um, but how are you doing tonight, Ian? What are you thinking about?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I like, again, I love coming back to the same visualization and seeing what colors people have set. Um,
Yeah, we should
and
explain our background is like controlled through an observable notebook and a Firebase database, and just anybody who has access to the notebook can change it, and that changes live on screen. And so we've been enjoying, both having people change it in real time and also offline, and coming back to it. And really, like the colors right now are really cool.
yeah, it's got kind of like a Nickelodeon feel to it, right?
Totally.
Which then, like, I had this tab open from last stream that we did, right? So these colors come from that same Firebase database, but this sketch that um, is visualized as what driven by these parameters, right?
Yep. And even that slider color, I think, is driven by the root color in the. Like, actually, can I go in and change it? Let me see. If I go in and change the orange background color, it'll change along with
Yeah,
it. There you go. Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah. So something else I wanted to share with you and anybody interested was I asked our friend Alex Garcia, right, came on and showed us observable pre-render.
Hell yeah. Shouts out, Alex.
Yeah, I asked him about Puppeteer Cluster, which is something I found, I think when we were, chatting, searching Stack Overflow. And he's basically sent back an example. It's on the documentation, actually, for observable pre-render, where you can essentially render a bunch of, like the same notebook, like 100 times all at the same time. Well, right now I have like 20, like 20 frames at a time, right? And so it makes it really fast.
So how does that work? That's just spawning many different applications of basically Chrome, headless Chrome, to capture things at once?
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, you tell it, yeah, you can have 20 Chrome, you can have 20 browsers, and it'll just render it, output it, and then like take the next thing off the list. And so it generates all these screenshots.
Well, the first thing that
Right.
makes me think of is there, when in force layout, is there like half a tick or 0.1 of a tick? Because you kind of want, if you can do more renders, you want higher resolution and time, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. What I would like to be able to do is interpolate between, or one thing I think we should try then at some point is, yeah, do exactly that. Like get it, because this animates over time, right? Number of ticks. But we can make it go smoother, right? It could, to get a sense, you're just trying to get a sense of how it turns out, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's cool to watch it
So,
evolve and
mhm.
have, like, how long did it take to capture whatever,
Yeah, like
20?
less than a minute, 100 and something in less than a minute. So like
Nice.
I remember on the last stream you were doing, or for a couple of times, right? Like generating the maps, for instance, you could just be like, boom, give me, 100 of those frames. You don't have to wait that long.
Yep. My cat wants to be part of the stream, I guess.
All right, welcome on.
He
Does
announces
he
his presence.
does he have any any data to bring
Yeah,
to?
did you come with any data for the stream? That's one of the mandatory parts. No. Sorry
No,
about that.
that's fair. Um,
I like that you still call it how many arts in your variable.
yeah, yeah, I took that from you. I mean, we were writing that, and I just kept it.
I think
Uh,
it's a concise way to describe a variable.
this script actually has like our original, and then like I made several other things to generate these videos. So people would just clone that and install. They could have videos too.
All right.
Um,
So tonight,
yeah.
what are you in the mood for? I'm like, I want to write some code. I've been doing. I found a website on Twitter of it does like touch typing classes, but it's like a fun little game. So I've been practicing my touch typing. and that's making me want to code. I want to write some. I want to write some code, write some stuff.
Nice. All right. Um, what kind of code do you want to write?
Well, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself because really we should get some data and then write some code around that. Is that the way that the order of operations?
I mean, it seems, it's like every time we set out to try some technique or answer some question, we end up doing both, right? So,
Well, it was
because all right,
I lobbed a little softball to myself because we already came in with some ingredients.
yeah,
That, you know,
yeah, we should
so we
reveal
have
the mystery
we
ingredient.
should.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we think like in the whatever 10 minutes of thinking about this that was done, um, in terms of picking exactly what would happen tonight. I've been working with this Eves data just in my general life around this, and then in the news this week, if you may have noticed, is a lot of talk about the United States Postal Service for reasons that I don't think are worth going into. And then election data for no real reason at all, just apropos nothing. Just thought I might throw that into the mix. So I was thinking maybe there's probably something interesting in the Venn diagram of Eves, which is the election administration voter survey. And that's just basically, it has a bunch of data on registered voters per state and per county, voter like turnout, the types of votes cast in the last election, whether they were mail-in or in person. Lots of fun, cool stuff. It's a really big data set. I've been doing some analysis lately on like voter removals, but it has a bunch of other stuff besides that. And then I figure USPS we could maybe get like, post office locations. Might be a great place to start. Or I would love to have one cool thing would be to have that by county. You know what I mean? Like post office locations by county, and then you could sort of compare it to some of the other stats. And then election data, that's easy. We already have that. That comes from MIT. They have 2016 presidential, Senate, and I think governor. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Nobody wants governor election. But you could look at 2016 election results. How's it going over there?
Oh, well, as you were talking about that, it occurred to me, right? Like we've talked about this before, that once you get everything on a county level, you can start connecting these different data sets, right? Like, so you mentioned three that we can probably bring together.
Totally.
And it occurred to me that, like, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has often county level data on stuff like employment,
Interesting.
mail carriers.
Oh, that's a cool stat. I like, yeah, employment of postal. So you could say mail carriers per registered voter. That's interesting. By county?
These are metropolitan areas. Let's see if they have by county. I don't know if they have by county.
So I guess the real place to start is to start with like a few questions that we want to answer. I'm
Absolutely.
sort of driving at it. And I guess one would be like where are mail-in votes most vulnerable, right? And so that's a combination of a few things. They're vulnerable in places where there are not a lot of polling places, which comes from Eves data, where there are not a lot of post offices, which comes from the USPS, and where the last election was very tight. Like that's basically the thesis that I'm driving in with.
Yeah, so you're saying that you want to be able to filter down on each of these different data sets. And you kind of want to know what's left. Like, what is that at the extremes? What do you
Exactly.
get? Or, like, how much of that do you get, period, as well? Yeah. Do you, do you want to make the new notebook? Where we can, like,
For sure. I just want to write down what I just said because I can also. I already feel it slipping away from me. So I said the alone like a place that where a voter is at risk is a place where there's a low number of polling places per registered voter, where there's a low number of post offices or mail carriers, and the last election was very close, right?
yeah, yeah.
So we just need to drive towards each of those 3 points, and then we can sort of compare between them. And I think the most basic output of that is just a county level choropleth map, and like the more red, the more at risk, right? Based on it's sort of like a fake kind of index almost that we're making, right? A combination of these three numbers. You could even weight them, right, theoretically, but I don't want to get into that. But I think that, yeah, whipping up a choropleth map that's like the more red, the more at risk is sort of the MVP of
All right.
answering this question.
Makes sense to me. Gives you a place to start looking, right? And
Totally. So grabbing
yeah.
our, so you were asking me about making it. Do you want me to make a notebook in our observable team?
Yeah, I think it would be cool if you
So I'm gonna
did.
call. I'm just gonna call it where are votes at risk, and then I guess I'm just gonna copy in. I forgot how to do. Just copy in the stuff I was doing before. There we go. And then I'll drop it. Oh, I guess I should publish it.
Yeah, you can just publish it, and then
Publish.
we'll continuously update.
Cool. And I'm gonna drop it in the chat.
Okay.
And then I need to remember how to make a tilde.
Is it not shift backtick for you?
Well, I have this insane keyboard for insane people. So, no. Found it. Great. Killing the game. So, markdown. We want to do low number. Oops. Jesus. So I guess the first question. Do you want to divide and conquer, and maybe split up on two of our three data set prongs, I guess?
That could be interesting approach.
We've never done that before. That sounds like innovation.
Well, let's see. I mean, I was starting to pull up a notebook I'd pulled together before to get like the just sort of more or less standard way to pull in like the boundaries and the population, because we've done this before, right? Like we're gonna join in these other data sets. But in terms of getting this data, I think it'd be cool if we walked through each one together, actually, because we could just quickly look at where it comes from and get it into a usable format. Because we may, right, like it's not clear. You said some of this is pretty large, so we might need to use BigQuery.
Yeah, totally. So I guess, do you want to start from low number of polling places?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
So I think that's going to come from Eve's data. So the Eve's, as I said before, is the Election Administration and Voting Survey. And I believe on their website, they just have, I don't understand what they name anything. I guess it's the instrument. No, that's so let's figure out how to download the Eve's data.
Okay.
Eve's data download. That's the easiest way to figure out how to download things. So data set download. All right, we have 2020 election. Okay, it has the survey that they're now doing that there's not data for yet, but now we have the Eve's data set version 1.3 from July 15th, 2020 as a CSV. which I'm going to download to my desktop, and I'm just going to call it Eves 2018, and then I'm going to add it to our notebook as a CSV, right?
Yeah.
So
How big is it?
that's a great question. Let me look. It is 33 megabytes. Is that allowed? Is that too many megabytes? Do you want
Might be too
to
big. Might be too big.
do you want me to turn it into a data set and we can query from it and I'll upload that CSV? We can have a little in-betweeny step.
Yeah. The other thing is if you upload the CSV to our bucket, the shared thing that folder we made last time, we
Yeah.
could just download it from the browser directly. So we don't need, depending, like that's still not too big to work with in the browser and, take a look at. Although we may end up wanting to bring it into.
All right, so I'm just going to try and put it in the notebook. I don't give any
Yeah.
fucks. Let's see. Let me
It
drag it
might be
in there.
faster.
All right, so it's a CSV. Oh, no, but it exceeds the 15 megabyte limit.
Oh yeah, so let me send you the
The
folder where you can upload the file basically to host it.
Should I just put it on S3 and we can use it that way?
Yeah, if you is it set up for course? Because that's the annoying
Probably.
thing. Okay, then yes.
It's my S3 bucket, so it's probably yes. In my clients folder. Oh no, wait. I have a coding with Fire folder already. So I'm trying to put this Eves data on it, huh? Oh, Google Cloud Platform.
That's the alternative if you put it in there. The link I
Let's
just sent you.
see if my way is cool or not.
Yeah, I'm down.
Should I just do d3.csv and then this S3 URL basically?
Yeah, I'll import D3.
Cool, d3.csv. Sort of a Batman vibe to our background right now.
All right.
Hey, give me D3. You said you give me D3.
I did.
It says it's not defined.
Are we looking at the same? Where are votes at risk?
Yeah. Should I publish again?
Maybe we're not seeing the same thing somehow. Okay, now I see whatever I did.
Nothing. Now you see what I see at least.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I wonder if I made Ian use a notebook that was too big and it ruined his internet connection. Because it seems like we're having some Skype errors again. All right, bear with us for a moment. Hold on. All right, we're sort of back a little bit. Let me fix my camera. All right, now we're really back. Sorry for the technical difficulties and my inability to speak. And also D3 is still not defined. Not that I'm complaining or anything. We still have video going, but...
Can you drop the link in the chat again? Because I had to...
I can. Oh, it's the latest link in the chat already.
I know, but when I restarted it...
Oh, it disappears? I'll drop it again
chat.
for all our new viewers.
Appreciate that. Okay, so... I want to do D3.
I thought it was loading in all the Eves data that made your computer break.
No, I don't know, man. This happened once before. I tried to prepare with a pre-stream reboot, but it didn't help. All right, so these have FIPS code. Man, this is like a different FIPS code than I've ever seen. What's going on here?
I'm not entirely sure. I think that, it's a FIPS code for the first 5 digits, and then if it were a town, it would have additional digits after the 5. So it's in certain states in the Eves data, it's reported not by county but by town, so they have townships FIPS codes, which normally data sets don't contain if they're just county.
Mm-hmm.
But you could, if you were really cool, you could filter and show all of the ones with the FIPS code where like the 6th digit wasn't a 0, and it would probably be a bunch of towns.
Let's see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's do that. So, towns.
It's so weird though. I'm not seeing what's on your screen. I still see D3 is not defined.
Let's see. We're looking.
Yeah, it's like inner shared thing. I also don't see your little icon floating around like you're editing it.
Oh, I think can you change the permissions on the notebook? They have a new permissions thing.
Sure. What does one do?
There's
Transfer?
probably in one of the...
No.
No, because there should be some distinction between like private and like just you can edit it and us on the same team can edit it. I think you have to share it with me, or there's a sharing button.
Oh, share? Okay, you're so smart. Oh, yeah, it says Coding with Fire. Yeah, can view or edit, confirm changes. All right, we're figuring it out. Hit refresh.
Okay, so...
Maybe I'll see your little face pop up. Yeah, you saved the night. Very smart. Yay, I see your face. Yay, we're editing together again. God, that felt weird. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, so you said if FIPS code, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm just like jumping into this.
No,
to
you're killing it.
real quick.
Also,
right,
while
so,
you do that, I happened to, while we were off air, I made a data set SQL database of Eves, which I can also make selects, and we can summarize things if you have any fun ideas where SQL queries would be useful. I don't know if that'll be better than chopping in the notebook or what.
I mean, so far this seems doable.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of towns in New England. They have weird ass FIPS codes.
Yeah.
Thanks, New England.
Okay. Sure. Cool. So that's fine. So I guess the inverse of this would just be counties. So we basically have. So now what you're saying is we want to.
Hey, I have an observable question.
Mm-hmm.
Could you define towns and counties in the same cell with like the same filter somehow?
Say that again. Towns and...
Yeah, can you return 2 like variables out of the same cell? Could you say like town? Okay.
Yeah, would you like that?
I don't think that's better after I said it out loud. I like what you're doing.
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like we basically, but I think the thing you're saying though is that we're right now not concerned with visualizing towns at all, or like trying to poke into them as much, or do you
No,
want
I
to
don't really
also get
care.
in?
I just thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, but yeah, you can definitely do it. I mean, if you even did, you basically put an extra bracket around everything, and then you would say something like let towns is that, oops, and then let counties equal.
Oh,
And let me make
sick.
this
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted.
less. I'll make it. Or I can even do this. Return.
Yeah.
Simple
Look
as
at that.
possible.
Fancy,
Well,
fancy. Look at
all
how
right.
concise this code is.
Try and here. So then, if it's not
It's so
that, it's
beautiful.
counties.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. I like that you decoded just the nonsense that I said and turned it into code. That was exactly what I wanted. Thank you very much for that.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, what's eaves by? No, I want two objects that are global.
Well, yeah. So now anywhere you could say eaves by dot towns or eaves
Oh, I
by
see what you're
dot
saying.
counties. So instead of this, we could say eaves by dot counties.
Oh,
And you'd
fun
have it.
stuff. I don't know if you know this, but there's only 3,000 counties, so I wonder what that's all about.
That's a very good thing to to notice. Yeah. So I guess one of the ways I would quickly do that here is group it. D dot FIPS code.
All
Right.
right,
It
so
should just
yeah,
be
you're
like
gonna see if there's multiple counties with the same FIPS code just to start. Do you need D3 array?
do
I want to try. Is it you just say D3 array?
1 second.
Am I good at D3 yet?
Yeah, you might have just solved it there. Good shit. Yeah, because the new version of D3 array that's been published has that, but version 6 of D3 will have D3.group in it as well. But
I'm not
that's
doing
on some
no.
release
We ain't no
candidate.
on no version
Yeah.
6 yet.
Yeah, we can get there quickly. All right, and then, but I'd really like to find any that have more than one, right? So let me see if I can do, so this will be eaves by FIPS.
Well, would you
And
filter
then,
where array.length is greater than 1?
yes.
We're doing computer stuff. We're chopping up lots of arrays.
Eaves by,
There ain't no E in eaves.
oh, thank you. Is it not values? It's an iterator. Okay. So it's saying that they all have one. So there's
Okay.
just like extra FIPS codes in there.
Yeah, so again, there's 5,002 items in our counties array, but there, to my recollection, are only 3,400 something odd counties in the United States. So I just wonder what that is all about. Oh, why are there less now? What did you do?
Well, I basically said I only want unique ones where the 6 1 on isn't, or not unique ones. I only want it where it's like not zero for, or it's, sorry, it is zero for all 6.
Okay.
Thinking that that would get me just counties.
Well,
The other thing I could
it got us
do,
way closer to what we want, so that's cool. That was a
you
cool
said it's
idea.
3,000.
Yeah, now it went down from like 5,000 to 4,800, so you killed something. Sliced out a few bad ones.
All right, so I'm gonna try a slightly different thing.
I'm also going to go
It's
look at
crazy.
the Eves code book real quick.
All right, so now I still got I still have 4,500 if I filter down to anything that has a county in it, and they have unique things. I think I could do this. I can just dot filter it twice. No. Yeah, so that's still more strict, I guess.
Okay, so I just want to talk a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and I just pulled up the code book of Eve's data, so we can talk a little bit about like what is actually inside it, what all this shit means. Because I don't know if you noticed, like the variables are like A1B, A1C, etc., etc. So we got total registered voters, we got total active voters, total inactive voters, we have total registration forms, we have invalid or rejected registration forms, we have the total forms of mail votes, we have the total forms of in-person votes, we have the total form of online votes, we have the total form of DMV votes, we have the total number of new voter registrations by mail, new voter registrations in person, new voter registrations online, DMV, etc. Any duplicate or invalid registrations by mail, online, etc. Voters removed. The reason for different reasons, whether it was removed because they moved their address, whether death, whether they committed a felony and lost their ability to vote, whether they were declared mentally incompetent, which happens very rarely, but if you get 5150, you can lose your ability to vote. They have a bunch of other things I don't totally understand, like UOCAVA registered. I think this is basically how many. Oh, they have military ballots transmitted, non-uniform, non-military ballots returned, like a bunch of overseas voting by mail stuff. How many voided? That's a really interesting stat. How many by mail votes were voided in the last election? How many by mail votes were rejected? Or by mail voter registrations were rejected? They have the total number of election day polling places, the total number of election offices, the total number of poll workers working on election day, the ages of those poll workers working on election day, the total number of provisional ballots made, total number of provisional ballots. Like it goes on. Sorry, I know I've been going on, but like just to give you a sense of like all the like incredible, all the way down to the type of voting machines used, whether it was a paper poll book, a ballot marking device, a scanner, a punch card, a lever, hand count, like basically everything you might want to know about how voting is conducted in most counties across the United States to do comparisons against.
That is excellent.
So that's your extravagantly long list of ingredients. Did any of
Yeah,
that pique your curiosity?
I think it's like we have like all these spices spread in front, right? It's like which ones do we try, make a dish out of first?
Totally.
One of the things I'm thinking is or what I'm doing right now is just copying a few lines of code from this other notebook I have about making a county map. And because what I want to do is like, that gives us the 3,200 counties we expect. And we can like see, what are in this array of 4,500 that it's telling us we have, what's left over after we take away everything that's, we find in this one. Just to get a sense of what's going on with this data.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, I guess one guess I would have is if it has regions that aren't states but do have like FIPS codes for something,
Yeah, I sort of gave up on our 4,500 counties mystery. I think when we map it, just by the sheer fact of having shapefiles we're binding it to, I wonder if there's a way to like console error when it doesn't bind, and then we'll probably be left with the weird ones, and we can probably figure it out that way, right?
Yeah, and I can also grab um, where did we joined together? Do you remember? So actually, I could just import. I think it was in one of our COVID map makers where we like joined these various things.
What are you trying to join? Talk me through what you're thinking.
Well, we have these various things, county shapes. And so these have the features where it's the name, the ID is the FIPS code, and then it has the geometry, right? So that's pulling from this other notebook.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're just
But to
binding to
join
our
them
existing county
together,
shapes.
oh yeah, this states by FIPS for this population by county get. So it did a thing to create a map for the population data. So we'll just import that so we don't have to think about it right now. But we're going to want to do something like that for our eaves. Actually, we already have it. We have this map, eaves by FIPS. So if we say, wait, where's county shapes? Oh, that's not joined together. So what I want to do is check that well, I want to make this map, and I guess I can show something about the eaves data on the map.
Yeah. Do you want to? I'll pick you.
Right.
I'll pick you just total registered voters or total active voters. How's that sound? It's A1B.
Yes, that sounds great. I'm gonna comment out, so I just want to see something. So I don't have a states mesh, so I can get that population color. I don't. Okay. Population color and states mesh. We don't have a height. Let's borrow the calculation from that. Path. What was path? Projection. Path. Yeah, I guess I'll just import those too.
How the fuck you make a
I'm
table
just like
and
pulling.
markdown?
Well, it has
it
a
out.
weird syntax of like, all right, and then what I really want to do is, let me see, let me put this back. So states by FIPS. Get that too. Population format. I don't know what population format is. So it should be now. Why isn't hover? Okay, 18. So I want, instead of the population by country, I want to get eaves by FIPS. And you said, what was the key that you told me? Sorry.
A1B.
Is it a lowercase?
It is a lowercase.
Everything?
Yes, sir.
All right.
No, sorry, not everything. Capital A1, lowercase b.
Capital A, one lowercase b. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oops, I broke it. Break it further. Cannot let's read that as undefined. An ID is counting features. So oops, can't type. Oh, I have to do 0.a1p. But county shapes, oh, that has a value. So let me get rid of that. 5 pips. ID should be 0. Alright, population. Okay. Why would that not? Okay. Shouldn't this be 0? No.
So you're still binding the county data?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand why. Oops. Oh, no, this should be. What's wrong with that? Leaves. I cannot spell that. So so this one doesn't. So sometimes it doesn't have an ease value on the map. So
Yeah, a lot of them, like, they'll have, like, they didn't fill the form out, or, like, for whatever reason didn't actually provide data. So that happens in a lot of places, even when they're, like, show up in the data, if that makes any sense.
mm-hmm. Oh, this needs to be slightly. Don't I get the first element of that? I'll return an empty thing. Okay, so this should be and you said A1B, right? Use 5 pips.
Cool. So you basically made this county map appear. We got some cool state outlines, and you're trying to bind some text to it?
Yeah, so because, all right, so now I can bring this back. So I think I just have to do it in the same way where it's, oops, I hate when I hit Shift Enter. Oh, where was I? Filling the thing. So we want to do a similar thing here. And then we're just going to use this population color scale and switch out for a real color scale in a second.
Cool.
A1B, and then make that did not do, oh, I'm not returning it. All right, so I guess there's some sense in that where we see darker green, it's more A1B. I forgot actually what you said that was.
I put a little table at the top with some codebook definitions if you want to scroll on up.
Nice.
Total active voters.
Okay.
And I guess it is sort of interesting because it doesn't have population. Do you have population handy by any chance?
Yes.
Do you want to do total registered voters per capita?
Yes. Is that registered or active?
Sorry, you're right. Total active voters. It would be total active voters per capita.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would basically be... all right, but now the scale is totally wacky. We need, instead of population color being whatever this is, I guess I'll put it down here. I don't want population extent either. What is population doing? Oh, okay, so it has the population and those two things. What I guess I'm trying to think of is defining this scale. So I want to, it's a percentile scale, right?
Yeah, it's a ratio. Right?
Yes. So it goes from 0 to 1, I guess. Okay. Okay, that's not exactly what I had in mind. And this should be A1B divided by. So why is everything the same? It's between 0.55 and 0.56. Oh no, these are higher.
Because that's probably how much of America votes. It's probably pretty consistent everywhere. Maybe. Potentially.
No, I think
it's not that consistent.
Sequential. Oh shit. I think it didn't need to be log scale.
There you go.
Yeah, because it's between 0 and 1, so I mean don't we have a different treatment for no data usually? We should add that.
Yeah, we haven't have to have it. Well, I was just thinking about that. We need to know what metric we're looking at and check for if it doesn't exist, and then we would show our default color.
So,
Like our old pattern of like active metric. Should I just do that? I'll do active
yes,
metric A1B.
yes, yeah. I think you're right. I'm gonna look at purples. I guess it would be nice. Population by county. I just want to rename that to be pop. I don't need this stuff.
Can I delete your array from Eves by Phipps values?
Yes, you can.
Woohoo!
We can get rid of this other one was a good test also.
I like your map. It's very purple.
Yeah. So darker means what am I gonna get a legend up in here? Legend.
Wait, hold on. Don't edit the SVG map for a second. I'm going to add the active metric stuff to it.
No worries. Okay, that is weird. Takes 7.
There we go. All right. Do whatever you want.
Oh no, I just added the legend, which is just 0 to 1. What do we normally do? So if it's normally, if it just doesn't exist,
We usually make
right?
it gray. So we'll do.
Oh, are you editing it?
Yeah, I'll do.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, I got you. Sorry, I came back down because now you reminded me why I did all this. Oh, what happened?
Hell yeah. I don't know. Yeah, don't know. Sorry.
It would just be like if there isn't a E active metric, then return. Oh god. Oh, it's because I'm dumb. There we go. Oh no. Oh jeez, boy. Oh boy.
Nice, nice.
There we go. Sort of.
Hey, that's better.
Except for Wisconsin, who, if you want to know what happened with Wisconsin, you can look at their data, and it's because they wrote, "We suck at doing the Eve survey and all the number fields." It's not a joke. They wrote like a bunch of garbage text, if I recall correctly. What's Wisconsin? Yeah, does not
In order
apply.
to do
Not a
that,
number is a lot of their responses. Does not apply.
oh shit.
Oh boy.
No, that didn't help. Okay, sorry.
Or if type of E active metric number. Is that how fucking things work? Nope, maybe? My bad.
I think that,
Is that not how you write that?
let me try. And if I just, let me just take this off for a second. Oh, there we go. So I essentially forced it to be a number and then check if it is or isn't true.
Oh, sick.
I guess if it's 0, it's also going to turn gray, but for there to be 0 active voters seems like very questionable.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah. Well, no, there's some places in Texas, but I guess nobody lives there. Can we put the population in the tooltip right quick?
yes, we totally can. So where's our tooltip? That's the percentage.
Zavala,
So
Texas.
really we should,
But it,
yeah.
it also says it does not, data not available, not a number, so that makes sense. I don't think it's because they have 0 voters.
Yeah. So what do you want me to put in the tooltip? Just the population, right?
Yeah, but after I said that, I talked myself out of it. So what are we looking at right now? So we're looking at total active voters. This is like where the most engaged voters are. That doesn't seem right. This seems like the opposite of that.
All right. Yeah. Let me see. Let me put it in there.
Because we're visualizing what's our thing. A1B, and A1B is total active voters, and then we're dividing the population by A1B at some point, right? Yeah. So you would turn the total active voters divided by the population, which gets you basically total active voters per capita, which we then visualize on this map. So this is the total active voters per capita.
Well, it looks like McPherson, South Dakota has more active voters than population.
Really?
But it's such a small population. I think that maybe
Population data is probably way older than Eve's data.
it's out of sync. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, these really brightly colored places are going to be places with like really small amounts. You could even filter out things with less than like 1,000. This is 5,000.
No, but that's the most interesting because those are the places where you can have the most effect on a county-wide result, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, well, let's go back. So what are we doing again? So we're looking for a low number of polling places. So let me pull up the polling places definition from the Eves data. Scrolling down the code book. Election day polling places total. That's D4A. So I'm going to change our active metric to D4A. And it's polling places now divided by population, which I guess doesn't make a ton of sense.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Polling places. Okay, you're saying you switched it to active metric.
Yeah, I switched the active metric to polling places.
Is it just that there's 3,000 polling places to 18,000 population? In the tooltip we should say active metric.
I was just gonna. I think you can get rid of percent and population. Just say active metric, or just get rid of percent.
Okay. But it still looks like there's big areas with seven polling, 850 polling places in Santa Clara, which has like a huge population.
That might be legit, man.
And like Iowa has like thousands
How do
of
we make
polling
this
places.
scale? Like, where does the fill come from? Fill. Eaves by Phipps. Active voters color. Can we say active metric color?
Yes. So you want a list of colors then.
Yeah.
Where did you create the other lists to use?
What do you mean?
Active metric. Oh, you didn't.
Where do I say active voters color? Oh, I see. It's in the legend. Got it. Cool.
Jesus, there's so many. How many metrics do they have?
10 bajillion. Actually, I can answer that question legit. They have 408.
7. Oh. Damn, I suppose.
Did you pull the code book in?
No, I just like I looked at the first
you
element.
just used the
and
keys?
Just like said, yeah, get the keys from that. So it doesn't tell us anything about it. So it looks like,
Well, how do we find the extent
Mm-hmm.
better? Because that's annoying me right now. I guess it's because it's what, scale sequential and it's 0 to 1 and not an extent, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I can make an extent. Active metric extent equals d3 dot extent. Love it, killing it. What do we use? County shapes dot features, and then we'll pass a d.
Oh.
Return.
Wait, I think you want to.
What's up?
I think you want to do it over the eaves by counties.
That sounds right.
Or at least instead of the features.
Yeah. Okay, so eaves by county. Damn it, I'm having trouble typing. Is it eaves by county?
Oh,
Eaves by
here, let me
Phipps?
type it.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
What?
Oh, I see.
There we go.
There you go.
So this should be then, so we're not scaling it to population anymore.
Correct.
We're just going to scale it to the
Well, you could also
thing
do
that we
like
have.
ratio scale equals false. And then you would do ratio scale ternary. And then if it's true, you would do 0 to 1. How do you feel about that?
What the hell? I just see solid purple. What's going on?
Is this better?
Oh, 0 to 1. I see. Well, if you make it 0 to 1, that, because what I did is when we do the metric, I just took away the divide by population.
I'm just saying,
So
I just
also,
made a ratio
yeah.
scale where we can switch between it when we change metrics, that we can maybe move someplace else.
Right. I'm just saying that when we have to check that here. So it's like ratio scale, and if it is, do that, else do metric over population.
Oh, nice.
So
dude.
now switch it.
Now that's fucking dope.
Switch.
So
Can you flip the switch?
how do I make a view of button? How do I make ratio scale into a button?
There's probably a couple ways we could look up.
What's the simplest and most memorable way?
I believe it's from the input. But let's just, I've seen notebooks go by, so I'm just going to search buttons.
I've seen notebooks go by as a bar.
Wait until, I don't think we want that. This looks interesting. Just thumbs down, thumbs up. So I guess we want this here at mine.
No one's ever going to remember that.
No, you're right. Where's the other? We'll just do inputs because they have a button. Or radio. This feels like rememberable. So
do you want me to I'll comment out ratio scale real quick.
all right, so we have per capita.
Wait, you're naming
It's going to be active metric.
What the fuck is happening right now? What are you doing?
What do you mean? I'm making you a radio button. I have to import it.
Oh, the first one is true and the second one is false?
Yeah, I mean, this would allow us also to have more choices, potentially. So why did that not? Okay. It should probably have an initial value, but so it's not if ratio scale.
That's what I'm saying. You ruined the beauty of my Boolean with your nonsense radio button.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I want a radio that makes a Boolean. That doesn't sound like too much to ask of a website.
Oh, a checkbox then.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. That's on me, I guess. A toggle.
Yeah, I think we can do this.
I thought it would be a radio button between true and false, but that was a silly idea.
Is it true or false? I don't know.
Yeah, who cares? It was true. You guessed correctly. I'll get rid of this shit. Oops. Ah! We've heard each other. There you go.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
Dot value?
Index.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. Why wouldn't it? Options value toggle value toggle. The label is on, so can I not just do have the value be true?
Well, it's in the options. You silly McGillicuddy.
Oh, it like formatted it wrong. Oh shit! I break it
Yeah,
again?
you ruined everything. You silly McGillicuddy.
Here, let me type one time.
Never. There we go.
All right, maybe that should go higher up, right?
Yes. To the top. And why does it have this weird text underneath it?
The description?
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah. No, I'll write one. Hold on. I can do this. I can handle this. This is, show the active metric divided by the population. Or not.
Okay, there we go. Still weird how like nothing shows up, but there's like Iowa.
All right, great. So what we want, our original intention is to make all of the places with a low number of polling places per registered voter glow red, right? And so what we care about is A1A, total registered voters, right? Divided by the total polling places. Let me find that again. I think that's the one that we're showing right now, but I don't have it pulled up. Provisional ballots, poll workers. Oh, we could have voted at polling place on election day. That's a total number. Oh, election day polling places. D4A. Let me copy these in. These are really interesting. Sorry, give me 30 seconds. I'm just going to convert this in a way I can enter it into Markdown. And then I guess we can move on to our next question once we're done with this part. Or, like, I guess once we make the map red for those particular areas, right?
Yeah, so you'd like to switch the color scale to be...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it just makes it cognitively make sense to me a little bit more. Cognitively.
Okay, so we'll do a different extent. So you're saying this is like voter... What were the two metrics we're going to do?
We're going to do the total number of polling places divided by the total number of registered voters. Or the other way around. I haven't decided yet. But definitely those two. I don't know which one makes more sense. I'd have to talk about it for a second.
All right, and do you know you had looked up their codes?
Yeah, and I'm adding those to the top right now. I'm going to make the ones we're going to do in bold. So total registered voters I'm going to make bold, and then votes cast. Where's polling? Election day D4A. Here it is. Election day polling places total. So if I hit Shift Enter, you should. Oh, it made them italics because it's 2 stars, 2 asterisks to make things bold in Markdown. Still working on my markdown. It's been like 10 years, I feel like. Still getting it down. But yeah, A1A is total registered voters, and D4A is election day polling places. What you doing down there?
So I was gonna so you said D4, so we're dividing D4A by, this would be like, we could do things like this, where we had A1B, or this was population, or whatever. So eventually we might want a function that we could switch out what we're rendering, right? Like if we're calculating different things.
Yeah, but I think for the purposes of this notebook, right, we're just answering this low number of polling places question. It's kind of a different approach than what we've been doing, right? Like, and I was just thinking I was kind of regretting doing active metric because we don't, well, I don't know. We don't really want a notebook-wide variable like that in reality. I guess maybe at the end for like explore Eve's data, right? Uh-oh, I'm hearing Skype errors. It says reconnecting, there's a poor network connection. Well, while we wait for Ian's computer to reconnect, we've been having some trouble with that lately. I guess I'll sort of talk through what we're doing and where we're at and what we've been trying to approach tonight. So basically, we built up this to-do list of a few things that we wanted to approach. And basically, the ingredients that we collected were basically the election administration voter survey, which is a huge data set of like all this crazy variables by state and by county. It talks about voter registrations, talks about polling places, it talks about mail-in voting, all of which is very interesting to me for a variety of reasons. So we're basically at this point taking in that data, and I also wanted to look at postal service data, like post office locations, and maybe even historical election data, and sort of see how far we could get, just sort of exploring them and trying to answer like a few basic questions that lead to a central question, which is where are votes most at risk. And so we basically made an observable notebook over here where we're, walking our way through those questions of where are votes most at risk. I dropped in some of this Eve's data, this Eve's codebook definition stuff, which so you can understand which variables to use. And then we are currently working on the best way to visualize exactly the best place to show where votes are at risk. And I would like them to like glow red on the map. Oh, and Data Plus Logic says can't stick around, but I GLHF with coding today. I don't know what GLHF means, but thank you. Good luck. Have fun. Oh yeah, I will. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You have a good night as well. Maybe we can solve our technical difficulties and Ian can get back online soon, because it's a much more fun Twitch stream when he's on it. It's also strange to be broadcasting to his stream without him, like to be on his Twitch and there's no Ian. In any case, I was talking through what we were doing tonight. So the first thing we want to do is look at where there were a low number of polling places per registered voter, right? Because those are places which are sort of like generally at risk already. And then sort of in reference to the news of the week, also look, in addition to that, like places where there's low numbers of post offices. And there's also, Ian was looking around and found a data set of like mail carriers. Maybe they have that by state or by county. And then also MIT has historical election data by county and state. And we were looking at, maybe we could look at places where the last election was very close, right? And, maybe these three things combined we didn't write this yet. Maybe equals a vote risk index or something like that, or like the mail-in. We'll just call it the 2020 vote risk index. I can make up indexes. Everybody can make up indexes or indices. I apologize. In any case, yeah, so we basically split this notebook into those 3 questions. We're trying to answer them one by one. We did get a little bit sidetracked sort of making this map. And one of the things I was going to do before Ian dropped off is instead of interpolate purples, I wanted to interpolate reds so that I can make a map that glows red where the problems are, as people like. And that sort of is a little bit closer. The other thing that we did is we added this button that divides the current metric. Oh, there's Ian. Hello, Ian. Let me turn your look, you're back.
I'm back.
I'm just proud of myself for vamping the whole time that you were gone.
Nice.
It wasn't an easy task. Do you say what is vamping?
Yeah.
That's when you just fill air when things are going wrong.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for holding strong.
No problem. I just talked over basically some of the ingredients we were working with, the questions that we were trying to ask, and then right before you called me, I made the map red instead of purple, which was pretty much the only thing I was going to accomplish without you. So I'm glad that you're back.
Cool.
Also, Data Plus Logic taught me that GLHF means good luck, have fun, and he told us to have a good night.
Nice. That's nice. Okay, so what I was trying to do before my internet crapped out was to calculate this metric that you had called out, right? Like this ratio of polling places to registered voters.
Yes, sir.
And so I got the extent. So we have a color scale, and we should be able to say poll per registered color. This should be fine.
I'm tempted to get rid, or I want to, maybe when you're done with that, can we do a little remodeling around our notebook?
Yes.
I have ideas. I think the feng shui could be a little better. Not that I'm complaining.
I'm with that. I think it's nice to... All right, did something wrong. Did something slightly more right, but did not.
Interesting.
I was trying to use that. Oh, it's E, not D.
Scale sequential, huh?
There we go.
Hey, a map.
So
so this is a map of total registered voters divided by total polling places?
Yes, total. I'm gonna get rid of this active metrics thing for a second. Yeah. So the higher the number, the more. We should probably put this somewhere.
That's what I mean. I think that this is like a specific, like we should refactor this. Now's the perfect time to refactor this to like be specifically answering the low number of polling places thing. I'm gonna make like an eaves section in the bottom, and let's make like a little eaves explorer that uses active metric. You know what I mean? But that's like out of the way of our little like essay section. You know what I mean? So underneath this, where is it? I'm gonna make a new one. Call it Markdown. Eaves use Explorer. Whoop, that's how words work. Isn't there a key command to move things down? Option down or something like that? Or you have to go out. There we go. And now shift down. I'm going places. Cool. Oh yeah, I'm getting real fancy now. I'm gonna move lots of stuff down. You're doing stuff with the active metric.
I'm just trying to make a little title on top of our, or it wasn't the Explorer one, the
Doing a little bit of refactoring in the middle of stream. It is good because it'll be easier to read later. That's what the people need.
So the thing is that basically, oh, you moved.
Sorry. There we go. I'm done moving things.
All right, cool. So but we're not using the active metric necessarily.
What do you mean?
But you have this active metric variable.
Yeah, what about it?
I'm not using it in the current map.
Oh, in this one? Well, we should make a dupe of that. Now's a great time to copy this upwards back into our low number of polling places, right? And just make a low number of polling places map.
We probably want
ratio scale go. Ratio scale should be based on active metric. Like, wait, what happened there?
What? No, remember you wanted it to be the D4A divided by DA1A.
Yeah, totally.
So
but I wanted to keep our little Eve's Explorer.
The old one.
That's cool. Yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna move this
so yeah,
down
let's just make a second one and we can uncomment some of the stuff. I think it'll work.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. There you go, killing it. And so I'll make this active metric map instead of simple SVG map. Active metric map.
Okay. Wait, where's the other one?
I didn't make it yet.
Oh, I see. But wait, didn't you copy the one that we just had?
I thought I did, but let me put it. Here we go. So there's, we'll call it low polling places map. So now we have both, which is fun.
Oh, okay, I see it up here. All right, so nice. So you're making one that you could switch out what the metric is.
Yeah, exactly. Just at the bottom as like a fun little extra. I don't know.
But the one problem is that the thing we currently have, the things that are highlighted are actually showing places that have a lot of polling places.
I see that.
So it's backwards.
So just divide it in the other direction? Let me
It's,
divide. Let me divide D4A by A1A.
yeah, so they, yeah.
Or the other way around. Whatever. Hold on. Jesus. Excuse me. Uh-oh.
The extent changes from 2 to infinity. That's interesting. Oh, because D4A could be 0, I guess. 0?
Oh. Yeah. That makes sense. Because again, D4A is election. So there can be 0 polling places? That sounds awful. Election day. Oh, maybe there's mail-in only places. I guess that does make sense.
D4A does not apply. Population. Yeah, because we print out the exact value. Well, right now of the active metric, I believe. So yeah, it's showing that. I guess this would be, you'd want get value E. It's like a very small number. So I don't think I want to see the whole, like the percents.
It does make a very strange map. So I guess the real question is, why is Iowa glowing red currently?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because in the data Iowa's weird, or is it because the way we're calculating things is weird? And they seem like equally probable to me.
Yeah. There's 3,000 polls for a place that has 9,000 population. There's 9,000 polls. Just why does Iowa have so many polling places?
Oh, because it has the caucuses and is very important politically, so they like already have the infrastructure. They're really good.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
but
Google.
like San Bernardino has 400 polls, and there's like 2 million people in that county.
No, okay, so here's an article from June 4th, 2020. It says 24 rural Iowa counties opt for single polling site amid COVID-19. I guess that's not really the data that we're looking at because we're looking pre-COVID data.
Are you serious?
Kind of crazy. What are you looking at right now? Oh, how to get polling
Like how many
Iowa.
polling places does this place really have? Because San Bernardino says
Does
it's
this place?
400. I don't know. So there's no list.
Yeah, I'm not sure the best way to find out the total number of polling places in Iowa. A lot of them, over 500,000 Iowans requested absentee ballots. Oh, it's also interesting to talk about poll workers. So it says, in Wisconsin's April primary, a shortage of poll workers and sharply reduced number of polling places meant some voters had to spend time in line to cast their ballots. So maybe poll workers in combination with polling places is interesting too. So I see you have a map of Iowa, or no, you have a map of San Bernardino up.
Yeah, because it has a really high population and then low, like 400 polling places. So I just wanted to, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm like clicking on stuff. It's just showing me registration totals that I want to see.
Yeah, they say almost 2.1 million people live in San Bernardino.
Yeah.
And
Oh, look at this
54.
registration.
Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. I'm just looking at a particular district in it. And so I'm seeing like these numbers must be for much smaller populations. Sorry.
No problem. I'm just reading the census data about it. The median income per household is 60,000.
So, but is there, where else can we get the number of polling places? Like
A way to check the Eve's polling place data, you're saying?
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there is not. That's why this is an interesting data source, I think, because it's like it's data you don't really get any other way. Should I go in? Would it be interesting to look in data set and look at where the most polling places are? The county with the most polling places?
That's a good place to look.
2001. God, this database is enormous because it has 1,000,000 columns. 400 columns, if I'm being correct and precise. All right, I think in 3 minutes, are you down for maybe a little quick, like 10-minute break, and we'll play some jams, and then we can hop back on with some fresh energy?
I think that's a good call. I think that's a good call. Let's do that.
Sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We
do you want
got
to recap?
our.
We got 3 minutes. You want to sort of recap where we are? Like, we sort of laid out our ingredients in front of us. We sort of talked about what we wanted to do. We have our sort of meta big question now that we've broken now into 3 different pieces, and we're sort of figuring out how to architect the notebook and answer each of these questions one by one in the same notebook, and sort of get to our ultimate point of where are votes at the most risk right now in the U.S., and sort of a couple ways at answering that question.
Yeah. Yeah. I think though we still need to look into these outliers, and because if we flip this, it's like most areas are really low polling places.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to have to do some like artistic cartography of like figuring out the magic numbers. That's what I mean about not making this like a multi-use map. Like we're gonna have to tweak this to work for every section. I think is gonna require a little bit of magic numbering and finagling a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We want to. We'll figure. Yeah, for each one, figure out how to pull out the most salient stuff and just show that. Cool. I think it'd be good to take a break and come back and try that.
Totally. All right, cool. So everybody will be right back in about 10 minutes or so. Hang out. I'm going to put on some jams. Go get yourself a cup of coffee or something to drink. That's what I'm gonna do. See you in a second.
All right.
One, 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 Se nessuno crede ancora che ti amo, e perché non... Se nessuno crede ancora che ti amo, e perché non mi ha mai visto in amore.
And we're back.
All right.
It's Coding with Fire. We're making some cool stuff tonight, chopping up some Postal Service data, some voter registration data, and answering a few questions, namely, where are votes most at risk? And we're sort of defining risk as like a low number of polling places, or a low number of post offices, or places where the last election was really close. And sort of while we were on break, I was thinking through some interesting ways to visualize and think about this data. And two potential things came to mind. And one is a bivariate map. So normally when you're visualizing a choropleth, you're showing one metric going from its minimum to its maximum. But there is a kind of trippy sort of other approach you can take where you show things in 3D space, and I have an example up, and the coolest part in my opinion is the legend, right, where you have sort of a two-dimensional grid where things can, you know, you can look at places where there's a high median age and a high number of people below poverty. We might do things like where there's a high or a low number of polling places and also a low number of mail carriers, and have those show up in a different color on the same map. But another thing I was thinking about is this ternary slider, which is another way of sort of sliding between three different metrics. And I don't know, this might be a little on the crazy side, but there's something about like sliding between the weight of the three different metrics that we pull in per county might be interesting. And you can sort of see by sliding where the low number of polling places are. And then as I said that out loud, I realized we could use the observable thing to then slide between every possible place between those three numbers and visualize that, which might, you know, have it bounce around each corner, start at the bottom left, bounce to the top, go down to the right, as like some sort of animation to visualize them. Might be kind of cool. But that was a lot of me just thinking about random ideas while we were offline. What are you thinking about, Ian?
Yeah, I think those are some interesting ideas. We also talked about, I was playing with the active metric thing, just kind of taking in all the things in the Eves data, which are, you know, addition to what you mentioned as well, right? Or like some of them are in there, but like the USPS mail carriers, but there's also like the vote by mail total forms, right? Which is probably like something that that adds context.
Or even D2B, right? Like the voted at polling place on like the number of people. You could also look at votes cast total minus voted at polling place on election day and get an early voting number, right? So
Yeah,
everybody
or
who didn't
compare
vote,
those two.
yeah, everybody who didn't vote on the polling place at election day probably voted by mail or absentee or whatever equivalent there is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of, maybe we should make something that just spits out the like the labels and numbers for a county you click on or hover on, I guess, right? So that you could have it just like, I mean, basically saying I want a tooltip,
Yeah.
but like a tooltip where I can just show more and more stuff so that we can see like, hey, let's calculate this in there, let's calculate that in there. Right, so, but we talked about also trying to like branch off. So each of us go and follow one of these directions,
Right.
and then see what we make, and then come back.
So
do it
yeah,
again.
yeah, I guess we can. Do you want to keep pushing on the polling places thing and have me branch off, or do you want me to work on this map a little bit more and have you branch off?
Oh man, I think I could go either way. How do you feel?
I'm a little excited to try and find some source data for the post office stuff. Like whether I can find
Okay.
post offices with like latitudes and longitudes, or I can find post offices by county or something like that. That sounds like an interesting task.
Sweet. Well, then I will try to get it. Yeah, like this. I can push on this map a little more, make it a little easier to. Also, when you do bring in new source data, and it's for like by county, like make it easier to swap that in and like check out
Totally.
what those values are, what we expect. So yeah, let's
All right, let me give it a
do
shot.
that. Yeah.
So let me see if let's just do post office data set download. That's how I find everything. I just search the thing I want, data, download. Okay, so there's zip code. Do you know what Kaggle is?
I do. Yeah.
What's Kaggle?
It's like a machine learning competition thing. And I guess they'll have data sets, and then people try to like, there's some goal, try to do better predicting, or I don't know the details necessarily, but so that's where you found a data set?
Yeah, well, I'm making a Kaggle right now, and then I'll figure out what the fuck this is. It's in the HDF5 format. Sounds awful. I don't think I like this anymore. Handwritten digits USPS dataset. Oh, I see. It's 2,000 test images of digits written on the mail that I guess the Postal Service uses to know where to send things. That's not really useful for our purposes, is it?
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not indeed.
Where was I? I'm gonna get rid of these. Just did this somewhere else. Let me look up it.
Okay, sick. So I did find a data set with 22,000 post office locations with latitudes and longitudes. It says many of these locations are historical and no longer function as a post office, which seems kind of useless. I wonder if they have a field for that. Let's open it up. Let's give it a look-see. See what's in post offices. Ugh. Yeah, it's just a latitude, a longitude. Oh, wait, no, they have historical in there. So we can filter by if name contains historical. And at least get something close. Okay, so we have post offices with latitudes and longitudes, but what would be really cool is postal workers by county or something. Postal. Oh, postal salaries. BLS. Okay, so maybe BLS has it. Postal. USPS. Mail. Okay. Vacant addresses. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's a restricted data set. So the United States Postal Service also keeps track of empty houses, I guess, so they don't deliver things there. Oh, here you go. This is the thing we were looking at. The Postal Service clerks, which they have by state. 45430. BLS data by county. Oh, it's part of occupation data, I guess. What I really want, employment, yeah, you want to see the number per county, but they only have it by state and metro area. Useless.
The geometry is showing up outside of it. It's strange.
So what's going on with you?
I'm trying to make it so that when you hover this, it, broadcasts out to the rest of the cell. To the rest of the notebook, the value of that county that you've just hovered over.
Oh, nice.
And so when I have this, console logs the right thing, and I'll just check. Yeah, so it's logging right, different feature, different ID, all that good stuff. But the value, I believe, should be this low polling places map. Oh, it's got to be a view of, I always forget that. Okay, so now, yeah, as you hover this, maybe I should make it click, but so we could say
So if I include a CSV, how do I get that as data?
sorry.
So I upload a CSV and now it's a file attachment. How do I get that back as data again?
Right, so I did
text.
this recently.
d3.parse.text, d3.csv.
Yeah, you can get it as text and yeah, pass it to d3.csv parse.
Oh, it's
you're right.
parse. Nice. Oh, it doesn't like that.
Oh, you have to do a wait probably. I'm not sure where you're at. Yeah, you want to do a wait file attachment.
Oh, sick. Killing the game. So this is all of them. And we'll do dot filter. Turn. Oh, it parsed it so weird. gave them all the name of the first field, I guess. I don't understand why I would do that. Does it not have a title field? Oh yeah, it doesn't have a title field, that's why. It's entirely my fault. Well, not my fault, but I did let it go by. So I believe this will be long, lat. Hope I got that right. I bet it's the other way. Lat, long. And we'll save it. No, as a CSV. Here we go. There we go. Yay! Much better. So right now I'm just trying to filter out all the historical ones by checking if any of the words in the name are historical. Which I think I can do with contains. Array contains. Includes. Pets dot includes. Oh, is it because it's not an array? I guess I'll look at whatever name words is. That's right, and it is an array. So WTF. Nameworth is not a function. Oh, it's not contains, it's oh my god, I just spent a long time. There we go, jeez Louise. Okay, so there's 11,000 historical and 11,000 non-historical. So we'll call this active post offices. Great. And I'm going to steal your map. And we're going to call it post offices. PO. All right. And we'll just make the fill gray for now, because We want to put points on it. How's it going over there, buddy?
Well, I got my little, semi tooltip thing going, and it's just like, yeah, like all these dark red counties, they have like just tiny amounts of polling places to their registered voters in their population, and but it seems like okay, and then this one Mojave, Arizona, is that, I don't know, native land or something?
I guess it's just
They have 20,000. Yeah, but like some places have like 24, and so how does like Merced County, California have 57,000 polling places?
57,000 polling. That's a pretty good question. That's a pretty good question there, buddy. So what's it called? Merced, California?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's got a population of 83,000. So that does seem excessive.
Mine says that the population is 270,000.
270?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm looking at the city. You're looking at Merced County, which is
Yes.
255,000 in 2010.
Okay, so this is probably like 2016 data or something like that. Yeah, I think it's said in the...
There's 97,000 registered voters in 2008.
This is 2018 population, sorry. 97,000. Yeah, let's see. And, well, this data, the Eves data you have is what, 2018?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
So it has 128,000 registered active voters.
But what is that polls number?
10 years. Oh, that's the number of polling places.
But that doesn't make any goddamn sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's like a very strange...
Election day polling places
But
total.
like all of Iowa is kind of like that.
Election day polling places total. Well, let's see what they mean by polling places and... I don't know.
I could also have a, let's see.
What's D9 here? Interesting, they have a metric called poll worker recruiting difficulty.
Huh.
And then provisional ballots total, and then whether they counted full. Oh, interesting. Provisional ballot. What's the definition of provisional ballot? You should record a vote when the request number given. Oh, that's when you show up. Okay, got it. That's when you show up and cast a ballot when your stuff isn't totally. That's interesting.
Yes, damn text.
Okay, but I got distracted. I wanted to make circles for every post office. Oh, it's not enter and append now, it's join. I forgot about that. So right now I'm trying to lay out all of the post offices as circles on another map in another section so that we can eventually try and do some cool stuff with that. But I'm trying to remember exactly how to reproject things. I guess we don't have a projection because we're using the funky default counties again.
Sorry, I missed what was going on.
Oh, I ruined everything by trying to draw so many goddamn circles. I should have known. Should have known not to draw that many circles. That map's looking a little bit better over there.
Well, yeah, what I'm doing is basically chopping off the outliers so that they go white.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
And they're just like so much higher. But then, yeah, this, when you do that, basically anything above, yeah, whatever this 0.001, I need to make the format better. This should be. Yes. I forgot how. It's 0.08.3. So it kind of looks like per capita wise, there's a lot of stuff that has very few polling places. So I don't know how ultimately helpful that is.
What do you mean?
Like basically all of California has very few polling places per capita, except for like a couple spots. But that clearly doesn't mean that those places aren't able to handle their registered voters, right? Like, or maybe it does. I mean, I don't think it would, right? Like, they got to be pretty efficient somehow. They're really big, right?
Yeah, that's why I
People
think
live
we
so
can't look
close.
at this one metric by itself, right? It has to be a combination of these few things put together, I think, for it to be a correct understanding.
Yeah.
Because I think by itself, right, any of these things individually is only a slice of the puzzle of what the problem is.
So would it be helpful if I don't know, because down here you're getting post office is or mail carriers,
Yeah,
right?
and it's weird. It's trying to tell me that the longitude on it isn't right, but I feel like it is. It's dot lat and dot
Are you
long.
turning them into
I
numbers?
sure am.
You have to do that. Oh, you did PO dot X equals projection. You just want PO equals, and I believe it's
Right, something like that, right?
or dot Y. I see you updated that. There you go.
Oh. Okay. Well, those are all the post offices. That doesn't
Oh,
seem right.
cool.
There's a lot of states missing, it seems like.
Yeah, that doesn't seem totally right. How big is that file?
1 megabyte. And I filtered out
Did you
all the
export it from
historical ones.
somewhere?
Yeah, from I downloaded it and then exported it as a CSV. Why?
Did it somehow not export all the rows or something?
No, I think it came as 1 megabyte and exported as 1 megabyte.
Yeah, because there are entire states that are like more or less missing, right?
Yeah, this data set might just be the whackness. Let me find my source. So I got it from POI Factory. 22,000 point of interest locations. And I filtered out all the historical ones, basically. It's just from this, like, point of interest blog.
A little bit of a note.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the map on their website looks exactly like the map we just made.
It does. Oh wait, on the USPS one?
Yep. But they don't claim to have all of them anywhere. All post office locations data set. Data.world. Post offices. This is for like a certain county. It's GeoJSON. No, give me the GeoJSON, please. Thank you.
Are you following that Stack Exchange thing too, or where did you end up?
Yeah, I used the first one from that, and now I'm looking at alternative sources potentially, and I found a GeoJSON, but it's only of the post offices in DC. I found another website called Scrape Hero where you can pay $80 for 31,000 United States Postal Service locations. So maybe this is, our first sponsored. Somebody send us $80 or send us this data. I'll drop it in the chat. If only we had that data. And why do they want $80 for it? Oh, it's by grid? This seems weird. Complete list. No, it has geocoded address. Whoa, phone numbers and open hours. That sounds crazy.
Wow.
So I'm gonna tweet somebody buy me this. This seems like a simple thing, right? Oh. Okay, so there's 30,000 post offices in the US. So any data set we get should have about 30,000 rows.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a USPS. Okay, so great. So the USPS has two data sets on data.gov, and one's the post offices in Montgomery County of Maryland, and one's the post offices in Fairfax County, Virginia. Great. Love our functional country. Yeah, and then there's that Stack Overflow, which has two answers, one of which is a broken link, and the other one we are currently mapping. Didn't you see somebody tweet out a map of post office locations? Should I search on Twitter?
Yeah.
Post office map.
God, there's a lot of these, like, buy a database of zip codes.
Yeah. I wonder what I guess it's for people who are trying to sell people ads or like, I don't know, man.
It's crazy. There's zip TM codes. Oh. Zip +4.
So here's an interesting one. Somebody tweeted out a Washington Post map of reduction in sorting capacity, and then where the election was close, and I guess they're trying to say, oh yeah, that's interesting. When you overlay them on top of one another, they're like targeting very blue areas. I guess I'll drop a tweet to this in the chat as well. I'm not saying that this is like highfalutin data viz, but it's sort of an interesting angle at what I was looking at. So the Washington U.S. Postal U.S. Postal Service reduction data. It might have just. Oh, is this what they're talking about? A 5-year strategic plan. Anything that looks like data in here? Not really. Huh.
Okay, so there's USPS does have you have to pay for it.
Really? Another one?
From the USPS.
You have to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's wild. How much does it cost?
It doesn't say. You can apply for it.
Sick.
What is this? So
It's kind of falling apart, huh?
yeah, in terms of getting these ingredients, they're just like
It turns out what
here's
looked like
that.
beautiful ingredients were actually rotten or non-existent.
just out of stock for now.
Well, we thought that tomatoes would be in season, but it looks like there are worms in all the tomatoes. Or all the good tomatoes cost $80, I guess. It's the other lesson we're learning.
And the last thing, the previous election data was something that we had on there.
And I think I already have this data somewhere. Use data? I think I just made that. I'm pretty sure I did this analysis recently, so I think I can just upload a CSV that has it by FIPS code, by county, without having to do really very much work. Oops, sorry, let me see. Used. Open it in numbers and see what it looks like.
All right. I mean, there's still more metrics we could explore from the Eves data as
Totally,
well.
yeah. The Eves
but-
data is pretty deep. Oh, here we go. 2016 U.S. county level presidential results. I have so many different versions of it. 297 kilo. That works. So I'm gonna upload this file as well. So let's copy this the same exact way we did this one. Which was like county election results will equal d3.csv parse of this dot text, and don't forget your await. Great. Is this right? Okay, cool. So I'm going to copy your map. I'm going to call it election results. View of election results. So would you make a new function for the election one that is like a FIPS lookup, basically? So it'd be like color county by election data.
Yeah, I mean, maybe have a new map, just a baseline for that.
Yeah, that's what I
I
did.
get that. Yeah. All right. I think I got the postal services.
Oh, somebody's writing in Vim, huh?
Yeah, so I have a 17 meg CSV, and so I'm just gonna try to strip some of the stuff out of it. And,
Oh, word. Before you even let it touch the notebook.
yeah. Let's say we don't need address. Do you want county? Dates. Southern Rockies. Shit. I'm silly, but whatever. So this would be
There you go.
so map. So I'm gonna turn this. This I gotta say. This. Like I'm seeing in the background of my terminal, I'm seeing a map kind of take shape. It's like encouraging.
Yeah, I think I did it right. It doesn't look totally right.
In a second, I should give you that same like tooltip thing, so you can like easily spot check stuff.
Yeah,
Dates.
because that doesn't look right. I don't know why I say that. It just doesn't feel right. Let me see. U.S. 2016 presidential county map. Yeah. Mine's wrong. I wonder what that's all about.
Alright, I think I can upload this post office's CSV. There we go. That's uploading. It's only 2 megabytes.
Oh, I think I need to turn these into numbers. And that's why this map looks so weird. Hey, I fixed it. That's how it's supposed to look.
Sorry, Okay, so I want to open post offices. I have a minor bug in my latitude and longitude that I can't spell. Still doesn't like that.
Wait, I forgot how you make your cool ass color scale. D3 scale sequential. Oops. I'm gonna steal that. So in like a few minutes, you want to talk through what we've done in our respective sections?
Yeah, cool. Is projection somewhere? You get projection from making a county map, so that shouldn't be the issue. PO, I'm gonna just call it D. Can't get my projection. Okay, so it's backwards. So it's 100. Alright, so I want to take out my console log. And I want to show all of them. Oh, you're not supposed to console log. Okay, there we go.
Whoa, nice, dude.
All right. Source is not POI factory now, though.
Totally fair.
I have no idea if this is like how legit it is that I'm doing this, but you know what? Do it till we can't.
The only thing we ask is whether it is possible.
Well, I mean, we asked some more things than that, but
Well.
okay, but I guess I could just get the count of post offices by county. I have to look up the FIPS code from the county name, though.
Oh man, we only have 5 minutes left in our technical time.
Okay.
I drank an espresso at like 8 p.m., so I could probably go for a little bit longer. But we do have this bad
Nice.
habit of stretching things.
This is true. I mean, 5 minutes, I can still get some counties going here. We could fill, so I need a PO color. I need to do the same scale sequential thing that you were talking about. So this would go from 0 to 2. Yeah, I need to write down insert. Um, let's actually make this make sense. Oh, it's properties.name. Oh, but this doesn't have the state. Err. How do you get the state lookup for these? So it's not the FIPS code, it's still not rendering very blue. Doesn't have that. Oh, it's the full name. Do the states have? Oh my god, it's huge. States by FIPS. So in this one, states by FIPS. We don't have the state codes. Do you have a easy way to go from like the full state name to just the 2-letter code?
No, there's like
Or
a
vice
million
versa.
gists that do it.
Because I
There's.
think what I'm
Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like the state in my post office is the 2-letter, but the state in the GIS or like the county lookups and stuff, the FIPS code is state name.
So there's
So-
an npm module called us-states-codes, and then it has a get state code by state, or get state name by state code, and get state code by state name. And
So
and
it's
you go ahead. US.
can you
Yeah, I'll drop in the chat. I'll just drop this whole. Well. Yeah, I'll drop this link in the chat, and it has the example in it.
module debugger. Okay, so I can do this.
Bro, if they let you hide cells, then that'd be a fucking game changer. That's all I want. That's my new thing I want. Line numbers and cell hiding.
Alright, so get state code by state. There we go. So then if I don't render the circles,
Yep. Yep.
So now I have the county map where it's aggregated, where there's a lot of post offices per capita.
Oh, sick.
So this should be, so I'm gonna take my little, this thing. This should be,
All right, homie, I'm gonna be right back for a second, I think.
all right. Should be a function. All right. I am making a little tooltip. And here. So LA has actually a relatively large number of post offices. Cook County, Chicago, right? All right, so Well, EJ's taking his break. I suppose I can give a quick overview of what I just, well, kind of want to give him an overview of what I did. So let's give him a second. I will think about rendering these post offices in Canvas. So I've done this recently with a drag and zoom example I was playing with. I could pull up. So trying to render SVG and Canvas in the same cell. It's not too crazy.
All right, son.
Hey, man.
Yeah, what's good? How's it going?
Well, pretty good. I basically counted the number of post offices in each county
way to go.
and mapped those.
That's this blue map?
Some cities, that's this blue map.
Cool.
Some cities or counties like LA have quite a few. Actually, I think this is just mapping the straight up number. It's not per capita. That's right.
It sort of does look similar to population a little bit.
Yes. If I mean, I could easily change it to per capita, right? So the extent, we'd want to get divided somehow. But the other thing I was thinking is I hid, if I put back the dots for the post offices.
Oh yeah, that's sort of interesting.
Let me at least fill them.
Oh, sick.
Maybe a lot of. I guess I could download the PNG. Oh Lord. Okay, didn't like that. All right. Yeah, so basically, I mean, I feel like pretty good. We're at a pretty good spot, right?
Totally.
Like we've gone down
The one thing
several.
I need to do is can you show me how you sort of trimmed your outliers for your chart? Because you'll see I sort of have the same problem with my vote difference. Where when
Yeah, I like manually overrode the whatever extent you have.
That's what I
I
tried to
counted.
do. I made it's a cell above the map, I think.
Ours.
Yeah, vote diff extent. It should be underneath this other heading.
Okay.
Oh, it's doing very strange things to me.
Well, you're basically saying that you're reversing it. If you make that number lower, it's just gonna blow out the outliers even more.
Yeah, which I guess is okay.
Like one
I'm just
thing
not
I'll
sure how much to trim it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Let me slice. Okay, let me take this down here. I'm also going to make yours so that we can easily see what's in it. Oh, wait, you already have that. So this is election results. That gets the feature. So you have the colors are, you're looking at color county by election data that returns.
This is sort of better.
Oh, okay. You just changed the extent to be
Yeah,
smaller.
just trimmed it a little bit.
Nice.
Cool, yeah, this sort of makes sense. I didn't realize the vote was so close in New York and New Jersey. But Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, that all makes sense. Northern Texas. All right, you want to do a little recap of what we did tonight?
Sure. Real quick in here, I'm just really close to be able to showing the same numbers that you're using. D.diff was what I believe you show.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do num format on that. And we want to say something about the county would be why it keeps adding periods to my stuff. Okay, so there's like black holes where so this is the difference. So you kind of want it to be the opposite though, right? Where like if there's a very small difference,
I want more red.
I want
The
it to light
smaller the
up.
difference, the more red it should be, right?
Yeah, so I think you don't want to reverse it. Or did you
Really?
reverse it? Yeah, try not reversing it.
Let's see. All right, just take it away.
Yeah.
That's where everywhere was where the vote was close.
Yeah, and this is again where like per capita it sort of matters, but like
Not really. It's like if it was 99. You know, what I mean, if it was 1,000,000 to 1,000,001, the vote difference would be 1, which is right.
yeah.
I think my reverse was good. Because the smaller it is, the more red it should be. If the difference between the winner and the loser was 2 votes, it'll be really red.
No, you right now it's opposite. So you can see you hover over any of the dark red stuff. Right below it
Yeah.
tells you like the difference.
Oh. Oh yeah. So the difference was really close. I see what you mean. So let me get rid of reverse and we'll do like 1,000 to 1.
What I feel like you kind of want is, oh, interesting. Yeah, then you want these sort of like modulated by population or something like that, right? Like maybe
Actually,
it's
this is pretty
transferred
close
to
to
the
what I
circles.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty sick. But it's really to like 100, not 1. All right, recap, buddy.
All right. So what all have we done? We started with the Eves data. And so we're trying to see where there was low number of polling places per capita and map that. There's some holes in this though, and
That's just
some
Eves'
outlier values
fault.
that we don't understand at this moment. Then, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that could be clarified. Then we got a database of all of the post offices in the country. And then there's a choropleth behind them, which is counting the number of post offices in a county. But it's kind of interesting right now to see all of them, right? And then EJ, you got historical election data, 2016.
It's the presidential 2016 county level election data.
So if we hover over here, like, there was a 2-vote difference. Wait, what does that mean? That, like, GOP...
So the difference between the winner and the loser was 179 votes, or whatever it is.
267. Yeah, so these bright red areas are, like, very...
Those are where a vote really matters, right? Like where one vote has a big influence on the winner of that county.
Yeah. I wanted to grab the population. Toss it in there real quick.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
It's not POI, it's elections.
Yeah, interesting.
So some
Yeah,
of these places are pretty small.
Teton, Idaho has a population of 11,000 and the vote difference was 4.
16. Sayback, South Dakota.
Or Lorain, Ohio has 300,000 population and a vote difference of 388, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, that just popped out at me too. That's nuts. Monroe, Philadelphia. Yeah, I kind of want to do our bubble map thing to this, to where, right? Like,
Totally.
then the red ones would stand out if they're big red ones.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, we got something to look forward to.
Totally. So I think
Good, man.
I'm taking a little vacation. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the ocean beach and then the lake beach. So I'm gonna take probably gonna take the rest of August off of some streams, I think. But I'll see you in September. We might do 1 or 2 bonus ones, but I'll see it in September with some fresh energy, and maybe we can line up some guests and get some cool stuff going. I know I've been talking to a lot of people about who are interested in doing stuff, so I think we can make some of that happen.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I've also been chatting with some folks, and also I'm gonna be streaming at least this Tuesday morning with Observable with
Oh, nice.
Anjana. Yeah, she's our DevRel doing the live streams. We're starting that off, so it's gonna be
Awesome.
much more intro focused. We're gonna focus intro D3 stuff, but this
But
has
doing some
been
observable streams all over.
yeah, just making stuff on air.
So thank you to everybody who tuned in over the course of the stream. Thank you to anyone who's watching us in the future. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
Thank you. Good night.